Sovereigns are basically stations run into all of that nonsense.
Billion-year-old world's worth of resources.
So now that we've built Farah, we want Trade Depot, Recycler, Clinic, Old Earth, Laboratory, Thorium. So that's going to be a pretty standard set of buildings every time we build a new city for the first time. And if we can, we may buy one of those recyclers. Well, we can't because we aren't producing enough energy. So if we find some additional energy, we'll probably buy that recycler to jumpstart the production of this city. They're low-key insulting me, which is fine. Again, that's based off of personalities, which that reminds me, do we want to go ahead and get into some of these? Eventually, we're going to be subtle. That doesn't help us now because we don't have spying. I really like humanitarian. I also really like developer. I think those two scores are great. Health affects basically all your yields of everything. If you build a bunch of cities without health buildings, your health is going to drop. So basically, the higher your population, the less clean your people are going to be unless you invest in keeping them clean. And there's a good chance we're going to end up being productive here, so we won't select this yet. So we are going to go ahead and grab, I think, food yield for now, just to help our city growth. And we spent diplomacy points on that. You can also spend diplomacy points on active agreements. So every time somebody selects personalities, you can trade, you can give them diplomatic capital, and it gives you a bonus. Likely people will want to start doing this with me as I unlock personality traits. So that's kind of how all of the diplomacy portion works. We finish chemistry. I think I want ecology next, and then we're going to go genetics, physics, maybe defense grid after that, because I want to make sure we get an early defensive unit. And defense perimeter just gives you like early city health is very strong just because units don't hit very hard yet. Whereas city strike is very good for attacking back. So we will probably do something like this. So ecology, genetics, physics into defense grid. So that'll take our scientists a while because we don't have a lot of research going on yet, but we will eventually ramp up that production. So again, we invested a lot in early units, and we're hoping that will allow us to springboard. Man, that's just so many aliens. We really want to stay away from this Makara. It's an amphibious unit. It can attack on land and sea. It has a tendency to be a little bit more aggressive from what I've seen than other alien units. So we're just going to want to give that a pretty wide berth. Chat, I'm not sure the early units was worthwhile. We invested a lot in that, and we just haven't gotten a whole lot of resources out of it because they frankly just beat us to pods. But we're still going to be exploring the map so that we know the lay of the land and where we can be investing. We're getting some messages from our advisors. For the most part, I'm going to be ignoring those. We haven't seen much Navy. Which is interesting. They seem to be investing more in land. We found a progenitor ruin. That is excellent news. We're going to move up here because this guy is not going to build that. This is going to come over here and get that progenitor ruin as quickly as possible. Because again, our best shot at getting early affinity score is in those ruins, and then just getting the chance of rolling alien artifacts is huge. So we want to be exploring as many of those as possible. Being very helpful in telling us how we unlock spying. We are nowhere remotely close to that tech at this time. We just have other priorities going on. Exploring the map, looking for those pods. Excellent. Got a massive boost to production by completing that expedition. Unfortunately, we did not get any artifacts, but that's okay. Scimitar is complimenting me on my satellite spread. Did we get attacked here? Are you just taking that much damage from... I think you're just taking that much damage from Miasma. You get away, Demon. That's mine. You're going over to that. Yeah, we want you off of the alien. And you there. Now, their explorers are around, but their explorers aren't getting these expeditions. They're probably just going around grabbing as many of the resource pods as they can. It's good to know there's a progenitor ruin down here. We are definitely going to send an explorer down there. Already, LOD may have this closed off, so I might not be able to go down here. Still have one player that we haven't met yet. After this, we are probably going to go ahead and build our third settlement. After this reactor, we're going to put a colonist on the map. Because we want to be getting all three of our cities developing kind of all at the same time. We're almost done with this road. Just going to connect those and give some bonuses to these two. We are at a deficit of energy, so this is a good time for that thorium reactor. And we're going to be getting into some additional energy down here eventually. We are eventually going to lose this collector. We have 27 more turns. And when we do, we're actually going to see a significant dip in our energy production. Energy is also currency in this game. It's how you can straight buy units and buildings in one turn. We're gonna hope that we don't get trapped in, but it looks like they've got like 3 cities all in a row here. One major difference between water-based cities and land-based cities is water-based cities can actually move, but they don't get their area of influence for free. You have to buy it or move the city, which costs production. Also, they're a lot weaker. You'll notice that this city's strength right now is at 42, whereas the waters is 14. In the endgame, water cities with max buildings end up being tougher and stronger than land-based, but it takes a really long time to get there. So early, if you think you're going to get in early wars, water-based cities can be a real liability for your civilization because you will just have to spend so much in protecting them with military units that it may not be worth your while in the immediate. So we've got another explorer. This is probably going to be our like... Let's see here, who's closest to that? I'm going to switch you up. You're going to be our far explorer. To the right, you're going to dip down here, grab this, and then you're probably going to sweep left. Pretty soon, we're probably going to want to start looking at some alien ruins or alien expeditions because getting Sky Kite upgrade is a phenomenal upgrade, and that is done with alien artifacts, of which we currently have none. And you either need to kill alien nests, which I'd really rather not piss off the aliens. Our base 1 is a new station that we can trade with. Again, would really rather not piss off the aliens. And so I would much rather find those artifacts by completing alien expeditions. Exploring the caps. There's no way that one will be there. Okay, so we got through, so we're just going to sweep this unit through the southern caps while we've got the northern caps being explored up here. Looking at the beautiful map. Grab this, go up here. Music quit. I don't know why our music quit, chat. You're just exploring. I know this is a land-based unit, but they still valuable information for us. Just want to know where things are. Resource pod, so we'll probably play the waiting game with this Ripper to grab it. Discovered a nest, so that's what the water-based nest looks like for the aliens. It looks like a giant lily pad. Whereas the land-based nests over here right, look like basically caves. There's two of them right next to each other, so we really don't want to go over there. We can at all help it. So now we've dipped in, grabbed that. What did we get, by the way? Bad energy. Early energy is good. Going to be the full amount, but I think that's worthwhile. We have 10 turns until we start losing some things, so we are going to want that to be done well before then to help us counterbalance that loss. If we need to, we'll build some generator tile improvements to give us bonuses to energy production, but I'm going to try and avoid that if at all possible. Excellent. Finished ecology upgrade and that affinity upgrade. Harmony.
This morning I saw flocks in flight, herds moving about the plain, and listened to the sound of water mixing with the morning chorus, and I wept at the beauty of it all.
I do love the voice lines, particularly the actress that they got for that. I don't know her name, but I think a lot of these little descriptions add a lot of lore and personality to this game. So we will probably stop and listen to some of them occasionally just because I like them. Gunboat, we're going to defer this upgrade because I am going to eventually build those and I want to build them for cheaper. Somebody got mad at me for something. They're just informing me that she has no respect for me and she shouldn't. From a military perspective. And you can see what she's been saying about me. So she thinks I need to develop my territory more, so basically get more territory, and that my military is suboptimal. So we are probably going to want to try and make her happy. Where is she? She's not on our continent. I'm not sure we care too much about her opinion unless she just shows up with a massive navy. And even then, we actually have some pretty defensible positions if it comes to that. So we will invest a unit in exploring around her, though. Hey, look at that, chat. Andy. How are our artifacts going? We got 2 right now. Dragon 1/3. We can mix and match. But you don't get the... Oh my gosh, that one's so good. You don't get the special artifact here. That might be worth it. We'll think about that one. It's good to know that that one's available. Oh, didn't mean to click on that. Right click on that. Cycle through our message center, see what's going on. what are we getting next automatically? Getting 3 tiles next in 3 turns. Not super interested in any of those, so we'll probably actually send this guy down here. And what's our... We don't have much energy, so we can't really buy tiles like we were kind of hoping to. How fast until border growth? We have no border growth. Okay. It was probably a mistake to send this guy down here. We probably should have come up here. And built, we'll build some energy generators in the water here. We can always override the coast tiles easily enough. We're going to send this one up there. So we're going to send this one out onto this continent to get whatever expeditions are over here around Tiangong, because we don't want to get blocked away from that region before we get in there and get whatever expeditions are a priority for us. So that's dead end. We need to go up. This is what I mean when I was talking earlier about how playing against the hardest AI work. Like, they are just so far ahead of us because of all of the bonuses they start the game with. And a lot of them are not happy with us. So Elodie likes us, which is good. We're actually probably going to try and... let's cooperate with Elodie. And we may, instead of investing trade in others to try and make them happier, we may just invest in trade with LOD, so that we can eventually form an alliance with her. She will drag us into wars, but I'd rather have a good alliance with somebody, particularly since she's relatively so much stronger than us, than not having an alliance with anybody. I like production from trade depots, even though we're a little hurting on energy. Still think that's good. Some production does just naturally generate energy, but it's not nearly as much as if you were to just have dedicated energy generators. So from here, again, we're just going to keep exploring the coast. We know that that's a bunch of dead ends. Sweep this guy over. Excellent. We'll grab that and then send the land unit over here, or a land unit over there eventually. Grab that. So that's good to know. Start that expedition. Found some culture, which is good. Worker build speed, meh. There's that covert operation. So hopefully we can get that covert upgrade with just old Earth relics, because that one's also pretty doggone good. Looking at our messages here real quick. Oh, I don't want to be right next to that guy. So we're going to go up. As you can see from all of the artifacts and things that we've been finding, as well as just the free resources, getting the early...
No village was ever ruined by trade.
So this will allow him to hyper expand, which is concerning. But I think keeping him happy is more important. And hopefully others will look at him as a bigger threat than us. So he wants to basically rent this power from us. And so we will get 9 diplomacy per turn in income from Samotar, and he will get this ability by doing so. I believe he got that from humanitarian. Cannot get another upgrade yet. We need one more tick, and then we can do that. So this is our main city that we've honestly neglected in a lot of ways. because it's been building a bunch of our units. So we're going to invest in a bunch of buildings in here. Excellent. Free energy. Need that. However you get there, get there. It might be right to bring this down and make sure that that gets there safely. Because we can always have like this explorer check poke on up here. So yeah, we're actually going to do that. Just play it cautious. We probably don't need to do that because we were there previously and there was nothing dangerous. But there's no reason to risk this amount of production if we don't have to. Sure. Yeah, we want to keep you happy. We would love to have that trade agreement or that diplomacy agreement with you, Elodie. So if we can actually become allied with these two, that puts us in a good situation. We just need to make sure that we are able to get to the victory conditions before them. You can absolutely backstab an alliance later. It just gets a little tricky, particularly if they are more powerful than you. And sometimes you need to do that. Our unhealth is currently at 6%, or I'm sorry, at 3. So that we have 6% less growth, 6% less speed. And when we make this city, we're going to get even more. So at some point, we are going to invest in raising our health. It's just not going to be in the near future. We can build a mine in there. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's get more production. It's apparently the like mountain region, generally the only place that you can build those. Again, we're gonna send this explorer up here. Go ahead and grab that, and we may just keep sending her that direction. Bunch of aliens over here. Like, is there a nest right here? Making me nervous, chat. It's making me nervous. Awesome. Now we're starting to see the fruits. Sending out so many units. Just getting these. Siege Worm is one of the biggest alien units in the game. You want to stay pretty far away from it. It will kill basically everything in the early game. There is a quest that if you kill one, you get some resources. So if ever the aliens get pissed off at us, or if we get pissed off at the aliens, we may go ahead and do that. But it's not a priority. We're going to poke around on this continent with this land unit now. Then we're looking for progenitor ruins anywhere we can. Maybe anything that disturbs this? I don't think so. So we'll just send this over here and investigate that fog of war just so we know. And it is the American Reclamation Corporation. So Suzanne is the CEO of basically a giant mega corporation that eventually became the U.S. government. Not just the U.S., but the American government. So the North American continent basically all combined into one corporation, and that is currently led by Suzanne. They are not the best spies, but they are very good at it, so we need to be careful of that. And with her traits... I can see there being conflict between what we're planning to do this game and her. But I think she's on, like, basically the opposite side of the map. Yeah, this is all her. So she's not particularly close to us, though I could see her making that trip if we made her mad enough. Try and come take us out. Found another solar collector, which is very good. That basically fixes our energy problems in the near future, which is perfect. Yeah, she's making fun of the fact that I haven't expanded. She is losing respect for us because we don't have another city, but we're getting another one up and running. And we will probably buy the 2 tiles we need to shut this off from people who aren't our allies. All of the buildings have a building specific quest that you don't need to do anything for, but build the building and eventually you'll get the quest. And those basically just make that building better in a way that you choose. My general playstyle is to be specific. So if that building does something like energy production or production, I usually make it be better at that thing rather than have them do like 2 different things, but not as well as one. I'm gonna send this on up here and explore around here and probably up into this now. We were not on the big continent. That's probably good. We're probably happy about that. I'm gonna send you down to look at what's around Elodie. There's an expedition. We're gonna grab it.
You go to war with the soldiers you have. Make sure those are the soldiers you want.
Don't really have anything to say to that soundbite. I'm trying to avoid war. Again, we already have a thorium reactor. We're having very mild energy issues, so that just means that all of our thorium reactor buildings that we build from now on will produce 6 energy, not 4. Obviously, quite a substantial upgrade. Man, maybe it's really good we weren't on this continent. This map has a lot of mountains. I want to be next to the siege worm, so we're just gonna not be next to the siege worm. Yes, please and thank you. We'll be able to start that outpost in 2 turns. We still don't have any trade units. Build a trade unit. I think they're 220. Yeah, so no, we cannot. Whenever you're done with all of that, add to queue. Trade. Nursery. Barium. Pharma lab. So since we've been building our units with our capital, our second city actually was freed up to just basically go right into building production, and now we need to go back and do that with our capital. So our capital is a little behind in that regard. We did get another culture. I think at this point I want to switch over to industry. As awesome as Pioneer Spirit is, we wanted Pathfinders more. So now we're going to get a bonus in industry that just gives us a flat 10% production bonus towards buildings. And eventually we will unlock this first tier here. And probably the route that we're going to take is every basic resource that we have improved and are working gives us an additional energy. Then we're going to make it so that buildings that exist in our capital are cheaper for our other 2 cities to build. And then from there, we'll probably get stockpile and alternative market, because once we start trading, we're actually going to get a good amount of energy. I mean, we're going to build up a huge reserve of energy and just have it accruing interest for us. Yes. Yes. Give us your diplomacy. We need it. Speaking of that, manager personalities. We want maximum food yield so that our cities just grow bigger at this stage. Next up, we'll probably get into one of the militaries, or just start banking for as soon as we're political. We can be max 3 ranks subtle. It's actually probably where we want to be, because we want to start spying. Spying can actually by itself provide you an army if you do it correctly. And we want to make sure that we are ready for any wars in the mid-game, so we don't just get run over. Because even if they don't kill us, they can just stop us from functioning to the point where we can't compete with whichever of these this lot is in the lead, which is really, it's so early to tell. It could be a toss-up of any of these three. Where's our diplomacy tab?
Hola, how can I help you?
Yeah. Kavitha doesn't really like us and has a 5 affinity score already. She's the big fish right now. She has definitely the most powerful units. If she has any kind of an army to speak of, then she is the threat. Kavitha is the global threat right now. Gonna read our way through that. Ah. Exploring, hey, all right. Why we're over here on the big continent to find more of that. History room, thank you. Seats taken. I'll go this way first because I'm going to run into a block and then I'll come down here. Probably send this explorer down and over. Let's pick up that. Oh, Elodie didn't like that. Oh, she landed by rot. Well, she's going to have to be irritated at me for a little bit. Much did that hurt our relationship with her. Back down to 5. Not great. We'll get trading up and running here soon, and hopefully she'll like us again. Yeah, we're going to invest in that relationship, and then second, we're going to invest in a relationship with Scimitar. Making fun of my science. My science is trashed here right now. I think I need the health. The extra city hit points early is really, really good if there's fighting, but we're going to try and just make friends. And we'll see how that goes. Excellent. 30 culture. It's us closer to our next virtue. Go ahead and grab that. Again, we know where another one is, so basically we just need to find the last 2. That's good. Actually, give me that first. Drone command, then gunboat. Not gunboat. Submarine. Submarine allows you to go under the ice to get any resource pods that fell in a place that you can't reach because of ice. And we're doing that just so that we've got a little bit of a military presence. Haircat, son. Mother. Magus' wife just walked into the room with Boris literally standing on her shoulders. That usually means he's pestering her. Don't need to pester your mother. Okay, where were we? You built that thing. It's really unfortunate that our city grabbed that first, because that's not something we can really do anything with. That's awkward. Just to have a tile for that guy to improve. We're going to spend that 30. We didn't really want to spend that 30, but we did. I don't like that at all. Having her over here is not good. Go somewhere else, lady. Don't need to be here. You and your colonialism. Again, our music disappeared. That's supposed to be ominous. It feels a little ominous. I don't like it, chat. Don't like it. Ignore for now. We are probably going to build some of those, particularly if there ends up being a war. I need to heal you, although you're healing on your own. Well, hi, cat son. Are you staring awkwardly at me? Staring awkwardly at me? Second, chat. I need to take care of something. Press. Oops. I'm dropping things. All right, you're all set, bud. You wanted to look out the window, so I was setting him up on the window. It's turn. Exploring. If she picks a fight with us over here, we are going to lose. So that's not great. That. Oh, nice. A dead end. Very good. Some wasted time. Come over here, explore this. Worst case scenario, you're going to grab that. We have some things going for us, but we really, really need to get our energy under control. That's going to help. It's going to put us in the positive. Did that attack me? We're just going to give that some space. It looks upset. So this is the trade screen. We can trade with ourselves to give ourselves some production and food. We can trade with our outpost to give our outpost growth. Or we can do international trade for different bonuses. Now, since we are already cooperating with LOD, we get bonuses in what we get as well as what she gets. So since we are initiating, they are going to get more than we get. I think I'm going to keep LOD happy, or I can try and prevent Naoming from killing us. I think we go with LOD. That's what a trade unit looks like. Aliens will kill this if that specific unit lands on the same square as an alien, or hex, I should say. So there is an upgrade that can prevent that. We will try and get that. We just may not get there right away. And we're just kind of exploring, unlocking as much of the map as possible so that we know the lay of the land. Oh yeah, look at that. There's no way that's going to be free next turn for me to grab it. check something on the Steam Workshop. I actually did post something in the community hub that I was going to be doing this. So the American corporation killed the worm, and when a worm dies, it actually automatically creates an alien skeleton expedition that you can then create. So that tells us that Scimitar was done expanding and no longer wanted that diplomatic agreement. We knew eventually that was going to happen. So that is not at all an unexpected result. All that. Throwing you in the water down to here. We'll come over here and grab whatever's on this little southern pole island there. I'm going to keep this guy around here because if she picks a war with us, I'll be able to pick off land units in the ocean. So we're just going to kind of have him hanging out. See what's to be seen. Stay out of the miasma. Nothing up there, so make your way over to here. Pretty much same with LOD. Like, we got some diplomacy out of all that, which is really cool. A lot of basic resources there, so that's pretty cool. All right, so we have access to our first wonder. I'm gonna sit on these because we wouldn't be able to build that wonder for a really long time. I mean, we may find something that we can use more in the short term because we very much need to be strategic about ensuring we are in a decent spot in the early and mid game to make it so that end game resources and abilities just matter whatsoever. So again, we plan on building a couple of these units. Combat rovers, probably not anytime soon. We'll go ahead and grab that upgrade. But the others we are planning to build at some point. No, don't attack that. So now we are sanctioned. So we need to bring some of these up or she's going to start a war with us. I don't see the fear changing anytime soon. I'm not entirely sure that we'll be able to do anything about respect. So I think at this point we just try and make it so that LOD likes us to where we at least have an ally if a war is going to break out. So I mean, like, Yao Ming is on literally the opposite side of the map from us, and we've done nothing to make her angry. As far as things that we've done on the map, it's just our personality and her personality clash by the traits that she has selected compared to the traits that we have selected. Affinity factors into that as well. It's not going to surprise me if she's a different affinity than we are. And so that basically those things shape your persona's worldview on this exoplanet. And that's just kind of where we are right now. Continue to explore. Vivariums are for food. Although rushing science is also pretty good because that's the other way of getting affinity outside of quests and unlocks from expeditions. Let's go see what south, because we have another unit north to tell us what's up there. And we know she's there now. So we're kind of split this. Start an expedition. There's a giant kraken. So it's a very tough unit. We kind of want to stay away from that if possible. This is the upgrade I was talking about where our trade convoys won't get attacked by aliens. We just want to make sure that those are as safe as possible. So it's good for us that we have that upgrade. We need to heal you. You are going to heal. Probably after you see what's here, but we need to heal you so you don't just accidentally die to miasma. I'm known for yeeting my units through miasma to the point where I don't notice they die. That is as detrimental as you might think that it is. Let's improve this one. We're going to do another energy producer, I think. We can't upgrade Xenomass yet, and he did beat us. He bought those 2 squares, which we wanted to do, but we just did not have the energy at the time. We are going to buy those 2 units. Now that we've got it, though. So that's what I mean by he's kind of choking us out. That might irritate him a little bit, but we wanted to make sure that we got at least some of what was over here. Could he even have bought that? 1, 2, 3. He couldn't even bought that. He would have had to have gotten that with border growth. But that just guarantees that that isn't going to happen. So unfortunately, we were hoping to get these 2, but he just was able to buy it before we were. We just had too many other things going on. Hang out. Help. They start a fight. We are going to need to invest in some defensive units and structures before too long. Where are we on research right now? We have defense grid in 2 turns, which is good. From there, we want to get into computing to unlock the spy agency. That's huge for us in our strategy. And then we're going to get over here into robotics. We're probably going to hang out on harmony-based technologies for a little bit. So we're going to come over here and get a bunch of these so that we can start to level our affinity more. Node techs only give you 7-ish affinity, but if you get the leaf techs, they give you 20 affinity. So if you want to actually power level your affinity, you want to do more node or leaf techs than node techs. That's fine. Vita's upset with us now. We really, really, really want LOD to be our ally. So how is that going? Only 5? So we've got some intrigue. So he's probably going to like us eventually just because our food production is going to be excellent. Why do you dislike us? So she's probably not going to like us for colonial reasons. I'm willing to bet she's the same way. Oh no, she's different. Yeah, she's never going to like us because we will not have many military kills. She might eventually like us because we do hope to have a good number of trade eventually. We just didn't rush it, so we don't have it now. We can't get that anymore. We pretty much have to send this unit around and hope we get through before she closes the borders. She gets really angry with us and starts a war, she'll just kill that unit. And sometimes they will do that and then you don't see them for the rest of the war and they just wanted to kill that one unit. So that is very much a real possibility that they could do. Trying to build up our science with our international trade. Most of the time, I trade with these stations and build up a ton of bonuses for trading with stations. But again, I'm really hoping that we can make it so that LOD likes us to the point where LOD will ally with us. And then at least we've got a big fish on our side while we are building up. Because we are very much so the minnow of this ecosystem. You're going to look at all of that, so you just kind of come over here now and see what's to be seen. Really hoping to find more... Wait. I was really hoping to find more... So also with column bonuses, you get row bonuses. So here you can see that we have completed 6 virtues in this tier 1 here, which gave us a free virtue. We're going to immediately invest that in the building bonus so that our 3rd city gets online even faster than our 2nd one did. In fact, our 2nd city, in a lot of ways, I actually think is better off than our capital is. Mine, if you please. You're still kind of just chilling, ready to pick off units if she comes at us. Exploring. Excellent. We got 80 free production, which is a lot. Give you a rough idea of how much that is. We go over to our city tile. It tells you what your generation is. That was basically 4 turns worth of generation from our capital. And closer to 5 turns of generation from our 2nd city. We want you back over here. Oh, there's the war. We were expecting that. Yeah, I know. So now we need to be mildly concerned about her just coming down and raffle stomping this. So as long as she doesn't have a bunch of land units here, we'll probably be able to keep her at bay just by picking off her land units as they're coming across this pond. I'm really hoping that... Ooh, I wonder, is she on... Where is that? If she's on that tile, I don't know if we can kill it with this gunboat, but we might be able to prevent that from completing, which would be awesome, actually. So this war could be to our advantage. Now, unfortunately, since we've been so aggressively exploring, we don't really have military units close at hand to help us. But it's possible that we can get a cheeky pick off on like some colonist units by virtue of the fact that we have. We will not be able to go that way now that that's completely closed off. By virtue of the fact that we do have units just kind of randomly around the world. We're going to probably not want to go this direction anymore because she will be able to kill this. So we're actually going to start sending this north. I mean, we're just going to pick up whatever expeditions are around here. So we've got 2 alien expeditions for 3 modules. So we'll probably pick up those and then hopefully find another progenitor ruin. But if we don't, it's fine. Got a free solar collector. We'll put that over our 3rd city or maybe wait until the one on our capital is done. Actually, is the one on our capital over? Yes. So we are just going to put this over our capital. And this spot is going to be where the majority of tiles worked by citizens are. You don't get bonuses for tiles unless you have citizens working them. That will add energy to all of its tiles that it's worked, as well as an additional bonus to the city if the city is underneath the solar collector. So we just know that that's the best bang for our buck on energy. Now we're getting 25 energy per turn, and that number should continue to rise. So that's why we invested in those energy producers producing virtues earlier, because we do eventually plan to have quite a large amount of this. They're telling us that we don't have enough tile improvements, a count of them. Again, that's something we're working on. We just aren't as fast at it as the enemy is. Veterancy in this game, as your units fight, as well as a few different other ways of gaining experience. They will actually gain in levels, which makes them more powerful. You get to pick those upgrades. We're going to make our way over here, and we're going to try and take out this Waddle. I don't know if this is actually going to be able to attack that while it's an outpost. I just don't remember. It's been too long since I've been in that situation. But we're going to invest the movement time to find out, because that would be big game for us if we could keep them off of that site. That would be a very safe place to put a fourth city. Not where I meant to put that. If we are able to do so. Eventually, that is a long-term investment. I wonder how upset she's made the alien. I'm hoping very. All right, everybody is just mad at us. Basically, anybody who's not LOD. And even, let's check LOD's status, make sure we haven't lost her.
Bonjour, mon ami.
We were really wanting the trade to bump us up. I think we might have to get respect up to like 8 before we can ally. Nope, 6 would be fine. So we get it bumped one more time, we can declare her as an ally, see if she takes it. And that would give us, again, a little bit of a safety net. We don't have 200 yet, but eventually we are going to want to just buy this. Start off with the trade depot first. We'll queue up a lot of the buildings you saw before. We're going to probably buy the recycler, but we'll go ahead and throw it in the queue. That generation starts the border growth for free. We don't have to do that or maintain it. It just happens at that point. Want to work on our health and energy. Actually, scratch that. Our energy is doing fine. We want Pharma Lab first. So that's going to take a while to get. And we are going to go ahead and purchase these two. You're actually... How much time do you have? Did you finish it? You haven't... Oh, you have finished it. All right, start on that mine. So this is probably going to end up being our biggest production place because this tile right now is getting 5 on its own. We're going to have 2 more of those. So we're going to have probably a total